Hey, welcome back to my channel, Vast13. Like, comment, and subscribe. Share the video. Hey guys, so today I'm going to be reviewing Mufasa. Yeah, I know it's been out for a while already, and no, I didn't see it in the theaters. I saw it on the streaming service, and it's been there for a while now on the streaming service. Um, I'm going to give you a warning now. There's going to be spoilers ahead, so if you have not seen the movie and you want to go check it out, pause the video, go check out the movie, come back. That was your warning. All right, so I'm going to be 100% honest with you. The movie was okay. It was okay. It could have been much better, but it was all right. So, the things I did like from the movie was Kyros, the villain. Uh, the actor portraying him was really cool. The the fact that it was a white lion, I always thought that was awesome. It also made me think about Kimba, this anime called Kimba, whose the main character is a white lion, and that show actually Kimba was uh, compared to Lion King for a while now. So it was cool to see a white lion in the movie. Um, Also, I like that. Obviously, we're getting a lot more backstory on a lot of our beloved characters. So these are all good things, but that's kind of where it stops for me. It was an enjoyable movie, but kind of that's where it ends for me. Uh, because in this movie, they decided that Scar, well, in this movie, his name is Taka. His real name is Taka. Before he became Scar, his name was Taka, and in this movie, Scar and Mufasa are not biological brothers. In the movie, Mufasa uh, just barely survived the flood, and Scar finds him and brings him to his family. And Scar's dad immediately, Ubasi, is Scar's dad, wants to immediately kill him because he views him as a threat to his son, and he doesn't want any competition for his son. Eshi, Scar's mother, uh, didn't view him as a threat and wanted to keep him, but Obasi was not having it. They agreed to have a race, and that's how they settled it. A race between Scar and Mufasa, and if Mufasa won, he could stay. If Scar won, Obasi planned on probably killing Mufasa. Let him get away. So it plays out. They start singing, how they usually do. It's a Disney movie. And Mufasa is, I think, doing as well as he can do, considering he just survived the flood, so he's probably not at 100%. But Scar is letting him pretty much win because throughout the movie, he says, I want a brother. I always wanted a brother. And, he found Mufasa. So he figured if he lets him win, he can stay, and it'll be awesome having a brother. So he lets him win. Sorry, by the way, I should have pointed out this. The movie is taking place in current time. What's happening is Simba and Nala are out, and there's a huge storm happening. So Rafiki decides to tell Kiara, Simba's daughter, a story about her grandfather Mufasa to calm her down and not worry so much about Simba. So that's pretty much what's happening in the movie. So that's how we get all this story, is from Rafiki's point of view. So as I said, Mufasa lost his family at the beginning of the movie because of a huge flood, and that's how he ran into Scar's group. Since he won the race, Mufasa won the race, even though Scar let him. Obasi agreed to allow Mufasa to come into the group, but he had to stay with the women. He had to stay with the females, um, which was an awesome thing for Mufasa, but a very bad thing for Scar, because Obasi said, "Oh, I'm going to teach Scar how to do all these things and how to be king, and you go with the females." Which again, it happens in real life. The lionesses are the ones that go out and they hunt, while the males sit back and are, that's right, lazy. And so so then this is bad for Scar, because Mufasa's getting skills here. He's learning to hunt down, catch a scent, and approach and hunt and all these kinds of things that are very useful skills, especially in fights. And while he's just laying back with his father, just being, like I said, lazy. So, and this stuff throughout the movie comes back to bite him, because he never gets to prove himself. At least if he would have gotten some skills, then maybe he could have proved himself. But because he never really got skills, he kind of always took a coward's way. A very good example is there was two white lions from Kuros's, the main villain, Kuros. From his group, two white lions come to attack, and it's Mufasa and Eshi, Scar's mother. And instead of and Scar's not with Eshi and Mufasa, but he's in the vicinity. He's seeing what's about to happen. That these two lions are about to attack his mother and his so-called brother. And instead of jumping in and saying, "Oh, let's go," he runs. Like, imagine that. Imagine somebody's about to attack your mom, and you're gonna be like, "Nah, I'm good," and you just take off. Like, it was cowardly. It was really cowardly. It set his character in tow for what he becomes in the other movie, Lion King. But so yeah, he runs, and he tells his father Obasi of what's happening, and Obasi tells him, "You tell no one about this, because if people were to find out, if his group finds out, hey, there was a threat and you ran, who wants a king like that? Nobody wants a king like that. He's a weakling. So they would want Mufasa as the ruler. So instead, he said, you keep that to yourself, just be quiet." While that's happening, Mufasa and Eshi are fighting off these lions, and Mufasa ends up killing one of them. The other white lion runs away. So when the other white lion runs away, he gets back to the leader, Kuros. Kuros says, "Where's my son?" Yeah, that's right. Mufasa ended up killing Kuros' son. So he views this messenger here as a weakling as well, because Kuros feels that he should have stood his ground, kept fighting, even though his son was murdered. He could have been there and at least died on the field with his son, instead of coming back and giving him this news. So Kuros just tells his lion and says, "Get rid of this for me," and they wipe that guy out. So Mufasa and Eshi, they make it back to Obasi, and Obasi now is, before he was very disrespectful and hateful of Mufasa, but because Mufasa protected Eshi, he's super appreciative now. He views him as like part of the group, and then he knows that these white lions are not going to take this lion down. He knows that they're going to come for him, so he comes up with the plan of Scar and Mufasa running away. He thinks that Mufasa will be a good help for Scar, and obviously he wants Scar to rule, and obviously he can't rule here because Kuros is coming. So they figured, hey, if you could get to the Pride Lands, it's like that, that beautiful place that everybody talks about, you could rule there as a king. But so he gives them this advice. They go, they run. Mufasa doesn't want to run, by the way, because Mufasa is one of those dudes. He's willing to box with anybody. That's the cool thing about Mufasa. But because Scar needs them, he decides, they're brothers, we're brothers, so they go. Kiros's group shows up, wipes them out, goes after Scar and Mufasa, and that's pretty much what the movie's about there. That's when they meet Rafiki and the rest of these characters, which it was, like I said, it was really cool seeing a lot more backstory on a lot of these characters. How like Rafiki was an outcast of his group, and everybody viewed him as just a weirdo, and like oh, he's always having visions and all this and that, But guys, he's in tune with nature, So he was kicked out, and then they run into Sarabi, which is Simba's mother, and immediately Scar gets infatuated with her, and there's a part in the movie where she gets knocked out and almost dies because there's like a stampede happening of elephants, and Mufasa is the one that picks her up, gets her into like a crevice, and gets on top of her to protect her. And then when she wakes up from being unconscious, Mufasa knows that Scar has feelings for Sarabi, so he says, "Oh, it was Scar who saved you. Taka saved you," and he gave points to his brother. He tried to help him out. So at least Scar can't hate because his brother's trying his best for him. But as the movie progresses, Sarabi sees that Scar, aka Taka, is not up to par. The dude, he can't tell of different scents. He's just not he's not battle ready, and she can tell this. So she eventually confronts Mufasa about this and tells him, "It was you, wasn't it? You were the one that protected me. You're the one that this and that." And then she professes that she cares about Mufasa. And Mufasa kind of feels the same way. Unfortunately, though, while this is happening, Scar, aka Taka, is overhearing this and sets him on that path of villainy. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I'd be furious too if my brother decides to take my girl, but technically wasn't really my girl. She didn't view you that way. You should have just let it go. But unfortunately for him, he couldn't let things go, so he ends up being the scum of the earth here, and he actually ends up going to Kiros. And when he gets to Kiros, he's willing to sell out his own brother because his brother took his love of his life. So Kiros actually accepts because Kiros, remember, lost a son. So he feels that if as Scar pledges his loyalty, it's like having a new son. So he takes Scar in as his new son, and tells Scar to go set the trap. So Taka, Scar, ends up joining back up with the group, and they make it to the Pride Lands, but it was actually a setup so that he could on the way there they run into Kiros's group, which Scar leads them that way. And then they find out that Scar is a traitor, and the fight breaks out. At first it's not looking too great for Mufasa's group. He feels abandoned, he's alone. He just got betrayed by his so-called brother. It's not looking great, and And Sarabi is over here trying to get help from the other animals. Like, hey, come on! If you don't help us, these people, these white lions are gonna take over and they're gonna destroy everything. And eventually, though, they step up and start helping Mufasa and them. And Mufasa's by himself here fighting Kiros, and it's not looking good because in the movie, Mufasa's not even a fully grown adult male lion. He's I would say he's like a teenage lion. He doesn't even have his whole fur, his whole collar around his so he's getting beat down by Kiros. Kiros is just more experienced, bigger, stronger, just slapping him around. And he gets to a point where Kiros is about to kill Mufasa. And then seeing Kiros about to kill Mufasa, Scar snaps out of it and says, "Oh, it's my brother," and attacks Kiros. And Kiros retaliates and gives him a good one right across the face. And that is how he got his scar, actually. So now, officially, he got a scar. That was enough of a distraction for Mufasa to get his second win and push over Kiros, and they start fighting some more, and eventually they end up underwater, and like there's like a whole storm and stuff happening. So the where they're fighting is like they have like a underwater cave, and eventually stones start falling from above, and Kiros was just too distracted, didn't notice what was happening, turned around, and boom, got taken out. And Simba, sorry, Mufasa made it back to the top, and almost fell back down into the water, but Scar got him. He grabbed him and pulled him back up. And yeah, that's pretty much what happened. They wiped them out, and Mufasa became the king. Everybody viewed him as a hero. He defeated Kiros. The White Lion threat is gone, and everybody's there celebrating. And to make things even better, Mufasa thought he lost his whole family and didn't have anybody, but in this group of animals that were helping fight against the White Lions, his mother was still alive. Uru, his mother was still there. She unfortunately gives him the bad news that the father didn't make it, trying to protect him from the flood. He was able to save him, but unfortunately he lost his life. But at least he still has his mother, and now he's viewed as the king, as the ruler of the Pride Lands. Though this is the part where it really irritates me, because seeing what happens in Lion King, I feel like Mufasa's such a cool character, such a badass. He was a no-nonsense type dude. And thinking of him like that, this movie kind of ruined him a little bit, because he looks at Scar, and that's what he called them. That's how he was the one that gave him officially his name, Scar. He's like, I will no longer call you by your name. You are now Scar to me. So he would no longer call him Taka as a brother. You are Scar to me. But instead of banishing him or killing him, which anybody in their right mind would have, he keeps him around. He just delegates him to the back. You're allowed to live here, but I no longer care about you to that level. And that was a huge mistake. Obviously, seeing of what happens, because he already betrayed you, man. That's why it irritates me, because you see Mufasa get attacked by Kiros because He betrayed you. He joined Kiros. Uh, and Scar has like zero morals. Kiros murdered your mother and your father, and you joined that guy just to take out Mufasa because he got your girl. Well, and she's not even your girl. It was insane. To me that made no sense at all. I feel like Scar should have been killed and left at that. So to me, instead of looking cool, now when I view the Lion King movie, I view it as, oh, you a dummy. You had this dude that had already shown that he will betray you like that as long as he can survive. So the fact that he did that and you kept him around and around your son, and around your girl, because he had feelings for. Now it makes sense. See, now when Simba was away, he was probably getting at his mama. You know, you don't think about these things when you were a kid watching Lion King, but now as an adult, like, oh man, he was getting it in with Simba's mama, and he's been holding a torch for her this whole time. He's that sick dude. So yeah, to me, Mufasa came across like a punk. He came across like a dummy because of this. That's why I didn't like this movie. And Scar, I at the beginning I felt kind of bad for him because he lost a girl that he loved, but his actions didn't justify that. He just became a scummy person, like next level scummy. You didn't fight anybody for your mama, and then you join the person and people that killed your mama and father. Nah. Scar became even bigger piece of crap, and to me, Mufasa became a dummy. So it didn't look good, So yeah, I mean, it was a happy ending. Mufasa became the king and all that, and then in back in current time, the storm stops and Simba and Nala return. So Kiara is much happier. Happier that her parents are back. But it was just, I just couldn't get over the fact that they made such a cool character in Mufasa look like a punk, like a dummy. Because that's really what it is. He's not really a punk because he's willing to throw down with anybody, but he's a dummy because why would you keep such an enemy there willing to twist that knife in your back? Makes no sense. Anyways, that was my thoughts on it. I probably wouldn't watch that movie again. I wish they would have, like I said, done a lot more in it, but at least we got something, I guess. So give me your thoughts on the movie. Let me know what other movies you think I should check out and review. And, maybe I've already seen it and I could just review it, or if I haven't seen it, I'll check it out. So just put that in the comments. And that's all. Thank you.